because I am now streaming too, supposedly. So,
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another very professional episode of Fast Charging with BnB. I am Brian.
and I am Bear.
And this is episode 20. Can you believe it? Where do the time ago? Let us know in the chats if our levels are good and you can hear us and all that good stuff.
I can hear you, Brian. Can you hear me?
I can. I think I can hear you.
Yeah,
So that's good.
we spent 4 hours checking our sound and our video
Yeah.
before we start, and then 90% of the time it's wrong.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
good. It used to be 90%, so we're getting better.
Well, and we're consistent. I'll give us that.
Yes.
No news this week, right, Bear? Nothing to discuss?
Absolutely nothing. Okay, the truth is there's a lot. We have like 56 tabs open of things that we're going to go over. And there were so many that I couldn't go over all of Brian's stuff, and Brian doesn't care about my stuff. So both of us are going to be blindsided as far as what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So
let's just...
Oh, JJ's back. JJ's been spending the whole day with me. He was on my live stream earlier. So I don't think JJ has a job. But hey,
Neat.
JJ, good to see you here. How's our sound volume and stuff like that?
Hi, JJ.
Good? Come on, give me a thumbs up. You get a thumbs up from anyone yet?
I've got... Yes, everybody's saying mine looks good. Well, they're saying it sounds good and looks good, and right there I've got to question it.
Yeah. That, there's something fishy when they say it looks good, because look at us.
Let's jump right in.
All right, let's do that. Jumping right in, we've got Ford is announcing 7 new models for a total of 9 by the end of 2024. I think Ford is one of the few serious competitors in the EV market right now, and I'm going to keep dropping little things why I think that they have a better chance of becoming successful is because they are probably going to squash their dealers a little bit and do direct to consumer. But this is a good sign. They have 4 more EVs that are passenger vehicles, and even though they have 5, they kind of seem to be all just like different versions of the same thing. A Tornado Courier and a Tornado Custom doesn't seem that much different, but they're counting it as a different model. But these are going to be for Europe, so this is good to see. The Mustang Mach-E is one of them, and they'll be moving, or they will be selling that over in Europe also. So good progress for Ford. So yay, Ford! What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's great, and it'll do fine. They're building an absolute ton of factories for batteries in Europe, so this is good. This is a good move.
Yes, those factories are future targets for the Russian military, by the way. So hopefully nothing like that happens, but they would be. That's the modern version of ball bearing plants that they used to go for in World War II.
JJ is rightly saying on your channel, please no more luxury EVs. I agree. I think we've got enough of those. We need affordable stuff.
Yeah. Hey, JJ, we saved the last article for you. Just saying.
Yeah, we got some coverage for you. So Ford and Volkswagen expand EV partnership to a second electric model for the European market. That's good.
Yeah. Volkswagen, I've heard, is like one of the companies that may fail. I heard that like 6 months ago. One of the legacy automakers that may fail. But I think they're really stepping up their game and trying to succeed where others are definitely going to fail. And I like to see the partnerships. I spent an hour doing a video this morning on a partnership between Apple and Lucid. If you guys want to check that out, check out my channel, and whether or not something like that was plausible.
Yeah. And I love the picture of the platform on this video because it just makes me think of a Baja Bug.
Yeah, it does. Looks like it could be kind of fun.
It does. It looks like the most fun possible.
Yeah.
So, you know how concept cars don't always look like the finished product?
Always.
So let's look at the Volkswagen D.Buzz. Look at that concept interior. Isn't it pretty?
Oh, that is nice.
I wonder what it came out to. to look like.
That looks like you're on the Emirates Airlines and you've bought your own cabin.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what do we really get?
yeah.
Yeah,
A
that's
minivan,
if that.
if that. But at least on the outside, I mean, look at how cool it looks on the outside. That's beautiful. Surely, I mean, you can make that. There's no reason you can't make that. Wonder what it looks like.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not that far off, to be honest with you.
it's not that far off, but it lost the magic.
It definitely lost because this is a graphics artist made this, and they can put the glow. They probably hit a glow plug-in, and it made it glow.
Yeah,
Where in real life, no glow, no glow, no go.
yeah, yeah. Not a match, but it's cool on the outside.
It's
Yeah,
better.
it is definitely cooler
It's better than
than
the
other minivans.
interior. It's better than the interior look, though.
But that interior, of course, was never going to happen.
No. So,
It's a shame because very cool.
yeah, you're gonna have to get over that. Um, Ford is having more supply issues, and they are going to
Yeah,
be delaying more and more cars. Uh,
yeah,
and they expect sales to drop because of this. It's they've already said they've lost 100,000 units of production after 37 suppliers failed to provide necessary parts on schedule. That's a lot. It only takes one to stop a car from going out, but that's
yeah, yeah,
37.
yeah. That is, you know, when Tesla said production is hard, Peter Rawlinson mocked them. Oh, they're admitting that they're failures. No, they're admitting that production is hard. And of course, Lucid and Nikola and Rivian have all discovered that production is indeed hard. But if Ford and Volkswagen are struggling to get production too, that should tell you just how hard it is.
Yeah, it definitely does. The irony is that Tesla's not having the problems that, let's say, Ford is having. I mean, they are
Yeah.
still having problems. I can't say that they're not, um, because they've got 6 months worth of back order on everything to the point where they're raising prices. So they are still having problems. If they weren't, it's very plausible that they'd be producing twice as many cars and
Yeah.
wouldn't have a
Yeah.
backlog like they do.
Yeah. And the fact that, Tesla managed to gain market share because of failures of legacy guys to deliver. But I think those numbers will come absolutely roaring back.
Yeah, as soon as the supply does. But
Right.
I think,
As soon as the supply does.
yeah, or as soon as the Ford Broncos that are piling up can be delivered.
What's this? What's this you say? Ford Broncos piling up again at a Michigan holding lot. Chip shortage has a few thousand Broncos awaiting delivery.
Yeah, that's a lot of Broncos, and I guess
Broncos.
I guess there goes the whole thing of never seen snow, because every one of those cars have now been snowed on. We say that in
Well, it keeps
Arizona a
them
lot.
fresh.
Yeah, we say that in
Yeah.
Arizona a lot. Never seen snow, but you can scratch that off on all of those. Um, yeah, it'd be nice to see just the chips holding them up. That's really too bad. And these vehicles also uh, are getting additional dealer markups. If you go into the dealer and you go to buy one, they are going to be tacking on more money because Ford has supply issues. So
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do.
Mustang.
What are they going to do when
Oh,
all those cars are released? Are they going to drop the
yeah.
price?
Yeah. Is it going to help you? Is that dealer markup going to help your resale?
No.
Mustang Mach-E, electric SUV so strong, Ford might not even take your order.
That is a not a question. That is a fact. I was on Ford's page yesterday, looking to see what I could order as far as a Mach-E goes, and only the Select and the GT were available. There was no option to order the Route One or the Premium, or the California Route One. I don't want to offend anybody there. Uh, they're just not listed. The Premium would have been something that I would have been slightly more interested in, even though it costs a little bit more, but you get more range. Just not available to order. And
Wow.
I spoke to several dealers, and they're all like, "Well, we don't have any coming in, or the ones that we do are already sold." And we tacked
Wow.
on $5,000 to $10,000 if you purchase one where someone has canceled, which
Wow.
makes me think that they're probably canceling people's orders just so that they can sell it for another $5,000 to $10,000. Because dealers aren't exactly the most scrupulous people.
Do
Uh, but yeah,
you know there's a review up here of the Kia EV6 for 2022? It's a good looking car. The reviews I've seen are pretty good.
I'm going to give you a quick short review of this. I drove one of these yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I drove the Wind model. Yes, that is actual a name of a model. Wind.
Would you say it again?
Wind. WIND. Like
Okay.
I just passed.
Was it fast?
I just passed Wind. Yeah.
Was it fast?
My Tesla, my Model Y would pass Wind. Would pass the Wind. Pass Wind.
Okay.
But it was still a fast car in the sport mode. It's in the sport mode with the all-wheel drive. It's got a real decent kick to it. I could not figure out how to get the regenerative braking on. That was very annoying. And it doesn't have hold. When you take your foot off the brake at a light, it will start to roll. There is a hold button, but you have to put your foot on the brake and press the button every time you want it to hold, which I might as well just leave my foot on the brake. So that was the one thing I really didn't like about the car itself. Otherwise, I did like the car. I would have
Well, 52,000. That's not unreasonable, especially with what Teslas are going for now.
Yes, and I was going to buy the car last night. If you follow me on Twitter, you already know this. I was going to buy the car. It was $53,000 was the MSRP, and I was told before I came in there that there was no dealer markup on it. And then
Nice.
then when they presented the car numbers to me, there was a 10,000 dealer markup, and they would not budge on that.
Well, if they told you that it wasn't there, you can always negotiate.
No, they asked me to come back with the number, and I said, sure, my number's that number right there on the MSRP. And the sales manager would not come out and even talk to me. The salesman, well, can you meet us halfway? I'm like, no, I can't meet you halfway. I explained I don't feel like there's any value in paying a markup. As soon as I drive it off the lot, it's a depreciation because it's nothing. I have paid for literally nothing, so there's no value. So why am I going to do that? So he wanted me to meet him halfway, which I'm not going to agree to that. I'm not going to meet halfway. So needless to say, after being lied to and wasting 3 to 4 hours, I mean, I did get to drive the car, but I did not purchase the car. Still in the market. If there's someone out there somewhere who's willing to sell me one, I'm interested.
So just to be clear, I'm going to make sure I got this. You called. They said no markup. You drive it. You like it. You put in an offer. And then they're like, oh, by the way, non-negotiable, 10 grand.
Yeah, that's actually 100% correct. Not only that, the sticker on the car itself, which said $53,000, there was no addendum.
Second sticker.
There was no second sticker. Their website also said $53,000. And trust me, I've been looking for a car for a couple of days now, and I have gone to I've looked at least 20 different dealer pages, and some of them will have it right on there and say $5,000 or $10,000. They're not advertising that. They don't have it. And the interesting thing about this is the dealership is owned by a company, a family by the name of Horn. And I had called another dealership that was a Horn dealership, and they told me that the owner, Robert Horn, said he does not want to do dealer markups on any of his cars at any of his dealerships because he feels at some point when this turns around, all the people are going to remember the dealerships that screwed them over. And it's not good customer service, so Horn dealerships will not have that markup on it. So the dealership I went to was a Horn Kia, and they said, no, that's not true. I'm like, well, the Ford horn said it, but it doesn't apply here. Every manager can do what they want. Okay. So they both lied to me, but at least I know where to go to get a Ford without a markup on it. So
Ridiculous. I'd be
I was irate.
okay.
I was irate.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
speaking of which, I think because of these situations, and I mentioned before about Ford possibly in the future doing direct to consumer. This article is a little old, but it's as relevant today as it was when it was put out a year ago. There are legal structures that have been set up from the early 1900s that prevent dealers or manufacturers from selling directly to consumers. And going around the country, I think it's still about 11 states where it's completely illegal for car manufacturers to sell directly to a consumer. It is illegal in Texas for that to happen, in
Right.
Oklahoma, and a lot of the states like
New Mexico.
New Mexico, and then like going straight north. You can't buy a car from Tesla. You have to do something else in order to do it. Like in New Mexico, they have a dealership on Native American land so that they can get around that, which is fantastic. But Lucid's going to run into the same problem, and so is Rivian. They are running into the same problem. And what's going to happen at some point? You're going to have companies like Ford create Model E. They're going to split them off, and they're not going to be under the dealership contracts that they were with Ford Blue Oval or whatever they're calling themselves now. So this is the end of the dealership era, which is fantastic news for me. Um, Dealerships can go ahead and deliver cars, and they can become service centers for warranty
Right.
work and whatever else
Right.
might come up. But they're just middlemen, and they're pointless. They're absolutely
Right.
pointless.
So, Fox 10 Phoenix, filling a gas powered vehicle may still be cheaper than charging an electric one.
Yeah, so there's a large amount of drug use that goes on in Phoenix. There is an oxy problem, there's a heroin problem, and apparently when writing this article, somebody was under the influence of something. This is our FUD article of the week.
Yeah.
This is it's complete nonsense. If you go through this article, and we'll link it in the description, but we won't go too deep into it. They took the worst example of charging your EV up, where they took the highest possible price on Electrify America, saying that if you were to charge your EV at the peak time on Electrify America, you're going to be
Without
paying
a membership.
without a membership, you're paying 40 some odd cents a kilowatt. And if you fill up from 0 to 100, it's going to cost you X. Now, if you took the world's most fuel efficient car at 45 miles to the gallon and you were to fill that up, it would cost you less.
Right.
So
So
worst
they're not
to
comparing vehicles of the same size and class, and nobody is charging at a level 3 fast charger during peak times without buying a membership. So right there, you need to take a quarter off the price, because there are a lot of people don't have Electrify America memberships because they charge at home enough that it doesn't make sense to pay the $20 a month or whatever. But if you're charging every day, every time, you would absolutely have one. And it also doesn't mention the fact that there's a lot of places where you can charge your EV for free.
That is true. That is true. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to find, but if proper
Yeah.
planning, you'll be
Yeah.
able to do that. Yeah, they compared a Ford Escape hybrid.
Right. Right. So dumb. So dumb. It's people love this. They got a cajillion clicks, and here we are giving them a couple more.
Yeah, don't click on the article. There's
Yeah, don't.
there's
I
no
mean,
place for comments. If there was, I would have left one. But it's just ads.
comments.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Foxbusiness.com.
yeah.
Dumb. So, did you know that electric vehicles are on the brink of mass adoption?
If you could buy one,
You could buy one.
yeah,
You could buy one. This is not surprising to anyone watching this. You guys get it. That's why you're here. Yeah. It says EVs sales globally remain less than 5%. But there's do you know what the two biggest car markets are?
The United States and China?
Yeah. So let's look at the US, where we can see that of course Tesla is dominating 75 or maybe 77, but it has grown 62% year over year from last year.
That is a fantastic growth. That is really good.
Yeah, that is a trend in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and battery electrics up 87% from more than a year ago. Oh, 87% from a year ago. It's growing. It's growing. And, but the competition's coming. Yes. And that's a good thing.
And it'll
for that matter,
it'll
China,
keep growing.
Yeah. Well,
real quick, I just want to address JJ. The only price increases y'all seem to be okay with is Tesla. I'm not necessarily okay with it. And we are going to talk about Tesla's price increase. But I'll tell you what, I would rather pay the manufacturer for a price increase than pay some guy who is just a middleman. And 4Q, that article from Fox News was a local channel also. So that was not from the main page. But let's go back and talk about this EV revolution.
Yeah. And in China, it is more than, let's see. The jump is, so it's already up to 15% market share, 15% of all Chinese vehicles. And it is growing. Oh, where is it, man? It is growing very fast, is what we're saying. I think the next one has better numbers. There we go.
Is that you being...
tweet from Troy Tesla.
Yes, I think you're being very technical. It's growing very fast. Very technical.
The EV share of passenger cars, 14.8%, and climbing, 21.8% in February. China is moving away from oil quickly. More than a fifth of cars sold are now EVs.
Now, to get a little political, Brian, you understand why China is moving away from oil, right?
Go ahead and tell me.
Because it gives them energy independence from Russia and from other countries. And if you were an aggressive country that could get sanctioned if you were doing bad things, and you could lose your oil supply.
Yeah.
So the less oil you need, the better. So it's something to keep in mind with today's world the way it is.
By the way, you forgot to thank a super chat.
Oh, yes, I did. Mark, thank you for the super chat. He says, cool, with some weird little green chicken dancing. I like that. I like the chicken dance. So thank you for that, Mark.
A pair.
A pair? A pair of what?
Of dollars.
Oh.
Obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And my channel is not eligible for super chats at this time because I have not yet met the requirements for subscribers or watch time. So,
which means, could you guys just do him a favor, even if you don't like him? Just subscribe. Once he gets to 1,000, you can unsubscribe. Because I don't know if you know this, Brian, but subscribing is free.
Not on YouTube. No, it costs a lot.
No. It's actually free. Go ahead and try it.
What?
Go subscribe to my channel. No, it's really free. It costs you nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
I've done that before for a lot of new channels where I like the person, but not necessarily interested in the content. Where I'll subscribe until they get over 1,000, and then unsubscribe. Just to get them over the hump,
Come on, guys, give Brian a sub, please. Just someone
killing me.
Every time we finish up with this, we go check our analytics, and Brian's always like, "Oh, lost one," and I'm like, I gained 73. Okay, that doesn't happen, but he does lose one or two every time. So come on, guys. Just give him a couple of subs. One more comment from Mr. C. Given the Russian threatened seizure of assets of companies in Russia, What if Tesla's China factories, if we become at odds with China, given the fact China is considering military support to Russia? Um, I think that's something actually to be concerned with, except for the fact that Russia, or I'm sorry, China really wants to, it's more important to them to have this conversion to electric energy supplies than having the oil than what might happen in the future. And it could happen that they could achieve this energy independence in 3 or 4 years and not really need Tesla as much. It is a concern that I've thought about, and I do think it's a possibility. China is a state where if they don't like you at some point, they can seize your assets, they can seize your business, and kick you out of the country. Does that mean that the Shanghai factory wouldn't be able to make the cars anymore? I don't know. Uh, they could keep making them and just put on Xpeng logo or someone else's logo and keep going with the cars. You never know. If some of these supplies come from out of the country, then they could have a problem, like certain chips and things like that. But I think that is a valid concern that Mr. C brings up. What do you think, Mr. Brian?
I think it's complicated, but what happens is China cares about commerce more than anything. And being the US's largest trading partner, I can't imagine China being willing to implode their economy the way some countries recently have. On your channel, Jason Pike asked, when will the power grid be able to handle everyone charging an EV at home without melting the wires and starting fires?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. The answer is yesterday. The grid almost never fails, and it never fails everywhere. It fails. It famously failed a couple times in a couple places. The grid has enough power, and especially with time of use pricing, most people charge overnight. And if you can make it cheaper overnight, you can charge all the cars overnight when businesses are closed and people are sleeping. So the grid is already there.
Yeah, most of the problems that they've had on the grid have happened during peak hours because of the demand for electricity. And at night, there's so much less demand that I believe in some places they actually cut back on production because they don't need it. But in the future, as we go forward with different types of energy where you can store it in battery form, you can keep your productions up during these off-peak times and store that power for when you do need it. So the problem's already been solved. It just needs to be implemented in more places.
So Chris had asked, what is my channel? And the answer is My Tesla Live, but it's linked in the description of Bear's video.
Another fact check true.
Yeah. So let's keep moving here. With the gas prices surging, did you know Tesla reportedly sees a 100% increase in orders in some parts of the U.S. And gas prices are spiking faster, even though oil prices are already coming back down because they gotcha. It's not unique to Tesla. That's why we're seeing these massive markups on EVs across the board. That's why I say we're approaching, if we're not already past, the tipping point.
Yeah. And as far as these markups go, just to rehash this, because I'm going to beat this S to death. If Hyundai wanted to raise the price of their cars $10,000, I would be okay with paying it. I wouldn't be excited to pay it. But my opinion of this has got to be Hyundai designs the car, they research it, they hire the people to build the car, then they build the car, they get the suppliers, they do everything that needs to be done to go from scrap metal into a full running car. And if they want to charge more for the car, that's their right, it's their product. When you have dealers who are not even allowing a company like Hyundai to sell directly to me because of corrupt politicians, that is no longer capitalism, and that is no longer supply and demand. They are toilet paper hustlers. So,
along with that, Troy Teslike was saying, Tesla's order backlog at Giga Shanghai is now almost the same as the Fremont factory, based on wait times when you go into the configurator. It's amazing. It's impressive.
Yeah. And if the price of these cars are too high, people will stop ordering them.
Mm-hmm.
And
prices will adjust. And the cost of goods is up. Absolutely, without a doubt. Everything costs a little bit more. That's inflation. But this is outpacing inflation. You ever seen those articles that say Teslas are not good cars, especially from Consumer Reports?
yeah, they write for that local Fox News channel also.
Oh, God. Well, did you know that there are other organizations that find them quite valuable?
Yeah, who?
Tesla wins Kelley Blue Book's Best Overall Luxury Brand Award for third year in a row.
Was this on the Model S?
Or
Or X?
I don't think so. It's the Best Overall Luxury Brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To recognize automakers whose vehicle lineups create enthusiasm among car shoppers.
Would you really put Tesla in a luxury brand? I mean,
I'd say it's a premium brand. Would you put a BMW 3 Series in a luxury category? Because I've had a 3 Series. It's not luxurious.
Yeah, well, a BMW is a luxury brand.
Yeah.
They have cars that will cost over $100,000 and have all the bells and whistles that you'll never need.
Right.
I mean, I love my Tesla. It's the best car I've ever had. I'm just not sure that I would consider it a luxury brand where I don't have cooled seats. I don't have massaging seats. There's not a lot of the seats are good, but they're not like I'm sitting on my couch kind of chairs or seats.
I think luxury is because I think the definition of luxury has changed in what an automobile is. They're fast. They're packed with technology that's in some cases unrivaled. It's definitely a premium car.
Well, it's definitely premium.
And I made a whole video on resale values, but Kelley Blue Book says the cost to own a Tesla Model 3 over 5 years is $16,000 less than the competition.
Does that mean that the competition's cost was $16,980? Because I just finished my first year with my Model Y, and I bought a jug of windshield wiper fluid, and that's been my only maintenance since I bought the car. And I did have a tire blowout, but I don't really count that as maintenance. That could happen to any car on any road at any time. I've done nothing else for the car as far as maintenance. So I think 5 years worth of windshield wiper fluid, probably about $10, $20 maybe. There is a cabin air filter, which I will have to replace at some time.
Well, this isn't comparing it to internal combustion. It is important to note the Model 3 was in the electric luxury vehicle segment and not in one that would include internal combustion engines, making the accomplishment even more impressive. So this is compared to other luxury electric vehicles, which apparently we've had for 5 years.
So yeah,
we must be doing some projections.
Who are we talking about?
I don't know. I don't know who the competition would be. It's just kind of a fun little thing.
Oh, wait. Is it the Bolt?
Yeah. It can't be, because there is no way in hell that's a luxury car.
Are we sure it's luxury? Kelley Blue Book says the cost to own a Model 3 over $16,000 less over the competition. Who's the competition? It says luxury. Oh, it's got to be the Leaf then. The Leaf.
Hey, if you've never driven a Leaf, you don't know luxury. And if you have driven a Leaf, you definitely don't know luxury.
Yeah.
That's fun. By the way, we're doing pretty great on time. I did want to address on your channel, JJ said
Yeah.
Brian's trying to keep it segregated.
Yeah.
And that's not true because I'm doing my own Tesla Friday live streams on this channel as well. And I don't know why I would want to segregate my own people from my own people. That's kind of hard to understand. The live streams have a different audience. They do not. They would frequently result in unsubscribes. So I moved them here where they simply don't result in subscribes. So that's a thing, apparently.
JJ,
I'm going to be going to.
you want to read
the
JJ's last
detectives.
comment? You want to read JJ's last comment?
Oh, y'all can't decide. Yeah, your own definitions of everything.
Yes, we can actually.
We absolutely can. Well, and here's the thing. JJ says, if Tesla is a luxury brand, then Nikola is a luxury truck maker. They may be. They're definitely a premium truck maker. Is that not true?
Yeah, I guess that is true.
I mean, they are pretty nice. I don't know. They're definitely a premium truck maker, though, because buyers will pay more for a new energy truck than they will for a diesel truck.
Yeah, that's true. If you're a 4Q says, "Wake me when someone makes a good $30,000 EV." Now we were talking about that EV6, and I was also looking at the Ioniq 5. The Ioniq 5 starting price is $43,000 MSRP. Decently, a decent range, 250, I think it was. With the tax rebate at 43, you're down to $35,000. So you're not that far off. You're in the $30,000 range, and I'm going to say it's a decent little car. So we might have to wake up 4Q.
So I just pulled up an article by Inside EVs. Let me try and get it over here without making too big of a mess of my desktop. U.S. electric car prices, cheapest to most expensive. There are still quite a few that you can get for. You can get an entry-level Leaf for $20,875 with the federal tax credit. New. Mini Cooper, $23,250 with the tax credit.
Yeah, well, hold on. You got to remember, 4Q's comment was a good $30,000 EV. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Mini.
Fair.
There's nothing wrong with the Mini Cooper, except for the fact that the range is slightly more than the Electromechanica Solo.
Right.
It's
114 miles of range is anemic.
Yes.
Hyundai Kona has a 250-mile range, effectively 27,685. But I think what we just discovered is that with the dealer markup, you ain't gonna get that price.
Oh, I'm gonna go in there fight for it. I'm gonna go in there with video cameras and obnoxious crap like that and make a scene and have the police called.
Yeah.
Because that will help me get that car.
Digital Blade Canada says having Netflix while charging or able to play games is a luxury, I would argue, and no one else has it.
My bathroom has it.
Yes, but your bathroom's luxurious.
That's true.
That's
true.
why you have carpet.
In my boudoir.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how you say that. I can never say that word.
Sure. So Electrify Canada has released an expansion map.
Ooh. I assume Electrify Canada is Electrify America, but in Canada?
I assume so. This map is great. It's got significant coast and coast coverage.
How do you get to one side or the other?
I assume through Montana and the Dakotas and the entire Midwest and most of the Northeast.
I'm not sure what the charging situation looks like in North Dakota. I know it's really not good. Those are. Have you ever been to North Dakota?
I have.
Vast areas of land with not much in between, and very cold. So I would have to look to see what the charging situation is, but it's not as plentiful as would be necessary. This needs to be worked on.
I went to a soap museum. Specifically, I went to a soap salesman museum. It was actually fascinating. The whole town is like built by this guy who
No,
invented.
no. I got to stop you there. I don't want to hear any more of this. Soap salesman museum.
He invented sponsored placement, where he would buy full page ads that looked like news and had some news, and then this amazing story about this amazing new soap. And he's the reason you have to mark stuff as sponsored. Anyway. So Ford's having trouble getting their deliveries.
Wait. So what's the admission? What's the admission fee to get into this museum?
Well, the whole town is the museum, and I think it's free.
It should be.
I mean, the whole town is just built around it. They've got this beautiful outdoor venue too that's like cut into the rocks. It's as soap museums go, pretty good.
Well, I'll tell you, it is number one on my soap museum list, and also last on my soap museum list.
It's a short list. So Ford is having trouble getting cars built and sold. Anybody else?
Porsche to temporarily stop production due to the war in Ukraine. Yes, some of their wiring harnesses and other products. I know about the wiring harness. I didn't really read this article, remember, because things. But yeah, it's okay. Wiring harnesses, and VW is having that same issue because, and BMW. So yeah, that is, it's good to know that there's some major manufacturers in Ukraine. It's sad to know that it's probably just going to get destroyed. So, and hopefully when this is all over, these companies do come back to the Ukraine.
And remember, there was a freighter full of Porsches that burnt last month.
Oh yeah, there was quite a few brands on there. That's
yeah. So Jeff Songster says the map from Electrify America really redefines flyover country.
Yeah. It sure does.
Canada, especially in the middle, is pretty empty.
Yeah.
But frustrating.
Yeah, and Mark says you can put the spam museum on my list also, which absolutely.
I would absolutely go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some sort of entertainment.
I need entertainment?
Yeah, because spam and soap museums are probably not it.
So the U.S. Has eliminated human controls requirement for fully autonomous vehicles. If your vehicle's if you're going to build a level 5, you don't have to put controls in it.
So they'll let a level 5 actually go out there, or they just don't have to have the controls in it?
They don't have to have the controls. So this is a rare example of the laws getting out ahead of the technology instead of lagging several years behind it. It is, if you can build a fully autonomous vehicle, then you don't need manual controls.
Okay, well that is a very rare example of the rules being changed. Almost as rare as let's say a soap museum.
You know what? I think it is exactly as rare as that.
Yeah.
Paul says he already cut the wheel out of his car. Just smart. It's just smart. What I saw on a great video, these guys bought the cheapest Tesla they could find in the country, and it was a very old, very tired Model S from like 2012 with like 300,000 miles on it. And just because we love you, the guy who's stuck driving it, they turned it into a yoke for him by chopping the wheel. They're taking a sawzall to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the sensor didn't go off.
Oh no, it'd be pre-FSD, pre any kind of autonomy.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
So
good times.
So they found the cheapest. Where do you get the most expensive? Come on, you got
eBay Motors.
You got to roll with that.
Oh, where?
on your next tab.
Oh, right. I'm I'm with it.
Yeah, okay. We're usually better at those segues, but that was.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's my car.
Tesla increases. Did you hear this? 5 days ago, Tesla increased the price of their cars.
Oh yeah, did you hear this? Yesterday they did it again.
And this brings us full circle, JJ. Um, you will not hear me raving about the beauty of this because this is. I had a video recently where I discussed my interest in buying a 7-seat configuration Model Y. And there were 3 considerations. Would my family fit in it? And I still don't have an answer to that. Could I actually handle the price? And the answer today is less so. And then the third was that it would be contingent on my income improving, which it has not. So this 100% prices me out of the market.
Yeah, and that is a shame. And like we were talking about earlier, if the price of these cars get to be too much, the orders will slow down. And right now they're not slowing down. And I do believe that the cost of materials is definitely going up. And like I said earlier, I have less of a problem paying these price increases to the manufacturer than I do to some dude who has done nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to see these prices go up either, and I'm afraid that the prices are going to go up on these other cars that I'm looking at buying. In the meantime, between when I can buy them and now, because it may be some time before I could actually make a purchase, just because everybody wants to jack up the price. Um, on the bright side for me, I've got my Model S on order already. So if you already have an order in process, you do not get hit with the price increase. So I have basically increased the value of this car by $5,000. And sorry, I got a little distracted where I saw Lily Mae's here late as usual, and she tells me that I look naked because where's my hanky? Because I don't have my headscarf on. So I assume that's what she means, because unless she's just trying to picture me that way. So, um, yeah, I think the prices are also going to continue to go up as long as the market can handle it. I don't want to see them go up. I was hoping that the 4680s would lead a revolution into cheaper vehicles, and this is not going in that direction. So,
And it still can. And as Giga Texas comes online, it's going to produce a lot of units. It's going to sell, which should help alleviate the backlog. And it's just a tough time to be a buyer across all brands, I would argue, but this is just painful. Painful. As a shareholder, I'm not as upset. I'm not upset. As a potential buyer, I'm devastated. Because if it was, if the old pricing still existed, I don't know. It's just 4Q wants to know how many cars you have.
I only have three cars, a 3, a Y, and an older F-250, and but I have them up on Toro, and I do rentals with them, so that's why I'm looking to get another EV. So that's my story.
Yeah. JJ makes a good point. We will never transition to a fully electrified America if we don't get an affordable EV. Now, I mean, the devil's advocate answer on that is yes, we will. It'll just take 25 years longer. If we had the affordable EVs now, adoption would be better. There are, as we discussed earlier, many less expensive options than Teslas.
Yes,
They're just not compelling.
they're not as compelling. They can still meet a lot of people's needs, like the Mini Cooper. It all depends on your personal situation. Um, Obviously, the rise in prices doesn't help, but at the same time, these prices are not just happening to EVs. I read an article yesterday that the average price of a car has gone up $6,000, and that's across the board. That's not just Teslas or Rivians or other manufacturers or EV manufacturers. That's across the board. $6,000 is a lot in a very short amount of time.
Jeff Songster says the Wuling is affordable. Speaking of spam, that is a can of it right there. $5,000. $5,000. And Tesla's already outselling it, which is breathtaking.
Yeah,
so outselling it in China.
if they were legal here, I'd buy a whole bunch of them just to, I don't know, take a picture.
I'd buy one. I'd buy one for sure.
I would never fit in that. I wouldn't buy.
Jeff wonders if he could even fit behind the wheel. Yeah, when you see pictures of it, they use very petite models.
Yes.
Unlike the one we saw in Europe where they used just the angriest model. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Why am I posing for this stock photo?
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. So, JJ's here. I feel like we need to talk about Nikola.
Oh, yeah. So, did we skip the last one with the, I guess we didn't. Model 3 now nearing 50,000. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Nikola fans.
They're thinking about adding more shares to the pool.
Yes, they are. Most of us knew this was coming. They're looking at 200 million more shares, which is an increase by a third. I talked about this.
And coming up on the 24th, Nikola Investor Day presentation. And that's going to be at the factory, I assume.
Yeah, it is.
Am
I going? I don't know if I'm going. So, JJ, you want to talk about Elon betraying the common man by delaying the Model 2? How about this? Tell me if I should feel betrayed after all the promises and everything. I went through this webpage that we're looking at here, and I sent an email to the investors at Nikola and asked for an invite to this. I got no response, so I reached out to someone that I knew there, and I was told that it's a closed event. I responded with, well, I thought it was investors and analysts. Do you guys...
Right, but you are an investor.
I am an investor. I don't know if there's a minimum and what that would be. I don't own 20 shares. I own in the thousands of shares, but I got no response to that. Lily May bought more. Nikola today at 666. I bought more today at 675. I had a buy-in for that. So yeah, I even bought more shares today, but I was told no by one person because it's a closed event. So I don't know if I consider myself an analyst. Probably not, but I do feed the analysts. You've done more
for Nikola than probably anyone on YouTube, which is, by the way, the world's second largest search engine.
Yeah. So I may not be considered an analyst, but I supply the analysts with a lot of information. I think I could legitimately say that. So I have reached out to another person. I'm not throwing names out. And he actually said he would look into it. So I'm waiting. I've got one other person I can ask if that doesn't work out for me. But right now, whether I'm going to be there or not, no idea. So speaking of going to events, GigaFest in Texas.
Yeah.
Are you going?
Yeah, so I am going to be in Austin, April 6th through the 12th, with the hope of getting in. And with 15,000 tickets announced, but they haven't started handing them out yet, I believe I will get in. I'm more concerned about you, because I know if you don't get in, you're not going. And then who's going to be my chauffeur?
Yeah,
who's going to drive me around?
I would love to chauffeur you around, so if you can get me a ticket as your other, I will go.
Yeah, I'm just not on a lot of people's radar. I am going to be hosting a meet and greet day of at a park nearby, somewhere nearby. I've got a planning committee set up for it. From, I think, noon to 3 is what we're shooting for. and I hope to have some special guests, and yeah, that'll be fun. But kind of yeah,
Yeah, so I'll go if I can secure a ticket. Um,
right.
but I'm familiar with how it's set up there. I mean, things could change obviously, but even to get down Tesla Road, they're they're checking IDs. I don't think I can get into the parking lot without permission. So if I can't even get into the parking lot, and I'd have to sit on the berm where we flew from that one time with Joe, that's a little bit more than not the same thing. I would absolutely love to go into the factory and look around. Um, I am fascinated by factories and how they work and things like that. So I definitely would want to get in there and to make that type of trip. It's definitely something that would require me to have a ticket. I know there's a chance I could go and somebody could get me in once I'm there, but we're talking
It's a
about
long way to go to risk it.
yeah, we're talking about a flight, we're talking about a car rental, and we're talking about a place to stay. I've got relatives in Dallas, but that's still 3 hours away. I'd still have to rent the car. I'd still have to fly there. I have to put them out in the sense that, hey, can I borrow a room? So, I don't like to impose more than I need to.
Right, right. Yeah, there are other special events going on in town um, that I'm not supposed to talk about yet, that I may or may not be involved with. We're waiting to see that as well, and hopefully I'll have an announcement next week about that, and hopefully the announcement will be something good.
Did Elon invite you over to his chalet?
No, I can announce that Elon probably still doesn't know I exist. If he does, he's keeping very quiet about it, which surprises me because anyone who knows me just can't stop talking about me, Bear. You know that. I've seen your live streams.
Yeah,
You talk about me.
I do. Yeah, and now I'm going to talk about you and soap. Did they have an example of like soap on the rope?
No, no, it was mostly about how he was a marketing genius because it's just soap, but he made an absolute fortune with it. He'd go into cities one market at a time, and each time he'd get to a new city, he would buy a bunch of these full page fake ads, fake news with ads that were all about how great the soap is. And then sales would take off and he'd move on to the next city and do it all again.
Wow,
It
sounds
was,
sounds like a great guy.
well, I mean, it was good soap, I'm sure. It was soap. I mean, oh, yeah. So that's good. That's good. Um, we are right down to the end here. If anybody's got some last minute questions, bring it.
Yeah,
Bring it. I do want to
four Q
say,
has a question.
oh, yeah.
I don't know what it means. What's a muffin meeting?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do want to say a quick thanks, as I always do, to my Patreons who get early access, bonus content, and ad free experience, all that good stuff, and help keep the channel running. I have added a new tier to sponsor the podcast. No takers yet, but that's all right. I'm
Might I recommend another tier and call it fans of bear?
oh I think we already call those your patrons.
No, put them on your
Wouldn't
channel.
that chap your butt if my fans of Bear level had more support than your channel?
I,
Oh
no, it won't. I'd be happy for you. I,
yeah,
I, I try not to hold envy in my heart. I would kill
I don't
you.
know how.
I would stab you in the back.
I am big. That is one of my favorite deadly sins.
Well,
I'm a fan of all of them. I'll be honest. I'm a fan. I just like them. I just like them. I can't figure out which circle of hell to pledge to because there's so many good ones to rush. But I've got some time to think about it.
um, well, gluttony's nice. I mean, that's fun.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, what's the sex one?
Lust.
Lust. Okay, that's always good. Um, Yeah, geez, now I think about it, they're all kind of good. All right, we should stop talking about that.
We should stop talking about that. Challenge accepted. Fans of Bear, it is, says Hockey Day. Yeah, and he also says, good show, guys. But that's because he showed up late, and so he didn't get the full magic of the first half. He may go back and watch it and decide, you know what? It was an okay show after all.
Maybe. Let's see. JJ he's coveting his neighbor's wife. I think that falls under lust. Just saying, I think it's covered.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Could also be envy. Yeah. Or gluttony, depending how you do it, JJ.
Yeah. Oh.
We have fun.
Yeah. Okay. So I also want to thank all of my viewers. I appreciate you guys being here. Go ahead and hit that like button, because that's what spreads the algorithm in the right direction. And if you haven't already, I don't know how the hell you got here, but subscribe, please.
JJ has just said, if I make that a tier, he'll join.
Do it.
So I asked, how much should I set the tier at? $1 million.
Yeah. Okay. You know, $1 million is not really that much anymore. It's supposed to be 1 billion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of just like one of those throw it out there things. Maybe just go with $150. You know.
Well, JJ suggested $420.
$420 or $4? Oh no.
No.
Okay, he's got the decimal. Okay.
I don't know if I can do decimal points, but I can try.
I think he can.
All right. I'll create that. All right. I think that was a great show, Bear. It was good chatting with you.
All right. Well, it's good seeing you again. Yeah. Yeah. We had a lot to talk about, and let me tell you, next week's episode, there might be some noise in the background. It might be my AC unit. Oh.
Yeah. And earlier, someone was saying, "Oh, Brian's just down to a summer jacket." Yeah, it's 60 degrees in here. Balmy. It's nice.
Yeah, it's 80 in here, and I will tell you, for you guys that don't know, I'm sitting in an office that is in a workshop that is in my yard, and if I don't turn on the AC, the temperature will get to an even 100 degrees in here without AC. That's what the shop is on the outside of this office. And if I don't have the AC...
You can go back and watch our interview we did in person, where I am just drenched in sweat, and it was
hilarious. It wasn't even that bad. I was sitting there, I was fine because I'm used to it, but Brian, coming from Washington, it was like a waterfall was coming off the top of his head and running down his face, because we had no AC and we had no breeze because we didn't want any noise from fans or anything like that. He was having a rough day of it, and you could, if you time lapse it and you watch it fast, you could just see his shirt go from dry to like soaked in like 15 minutes. That interview probably would have been like an hour had you been like, I can't do this anymore. My cameras are overheating.
We ran out of battery because we got so many exclusive that day at the factory. So that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Do that again.
You are good luck, so you need to come by here. Maybe I'll get invited into the Nikola factory if you're there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thank you, Bear.
Thank you, Brian. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for being here.
See you guys next week.
All right.
Yeah.